So continuing on then, we saw for the first time the two timing mechanisms you can possibly have in astronomy. Of course, sun to sun, solar time, clock and watch time that we're all used to. And of course, star to star time, which is a bit less, 23 hours, 56 minutes. It's called sidereal time. Okay, so what I'd like to do is reclaim some of this artwork here, and I'm just going to erase some of these conclusions here, because I do need to tell you, well, when are we going to see the sun again? Okay, so let's get rid of all these things here. Hope you got it. You can always just reverse or pause or look at the last video to get it. And we'll even get rid of this here. I'll just sort of keep it. So what I'll just sort of say then to conclude then is that at position A right here, and let's just maybe say this is position B. This is position B, so when I'm at position B, all I'm going to see is the star. And when I'm at position A, let me just maybe get that on here too, which happens very first. This is sort of the way everything started here. I'm going to see the star and the sun, and that's going to be position A. Okay, so when I'm here, getting started, this is what I see. When I wait 23 hours and 56 minutes and look up, all I see is the star. And so the question is, when am I going to see the sun? When am I going to see the sun? Well, if you look at this picture here, you just have to wait a bit more. You just have to wait a tad bit more until you rotate so that when you look up, you will see the sun. But remember, we're not just going to draw the rotation on the exact same position here, because we know the Earth is also continuing its orbit like that. So I'll have to sort of continue the orbit like that. And here's the blue again. So I'll sort of draw the Earth maybe, just moved ever so slightly here, but still following its orbit. And now you can draw the little gray person maybe like this. And now when they look up, they do see the sun. And that's the 24 hours that you're used to there. And so maybe we'll call that position C. So position C is this next Earth right here. And here's a C right here. And here's the white frame. So now when I look up, I'm not going to see the star anymore, but I am going to see the sun. Okay, so you just look at how all the geometry works out here. Something like this. And where I start in position A, there's the sun, there's the star, got them. When I get to position B right here, this position here, do not see the sun, but I can see the star. Remember, it's 100 miles away to the right. See the star right here. But then when I rotate once more, if I look up, I'm not going to see that star anymore, but if I look up, I am going to see the sun. And that, of course, is 24 hours. So we can get that on here if you want. Again, I think it's going to get a little crowded, but I'll draw another white arrow. So if I go from this position here where this red line was all the way down to, again, remember this second ball right here, the second Earth right here. Maybe I'll draw that orientation line, that red line sort of pointing up. Oh, I meant to make that red. And I'm going to, let me just draw over here. Make that red like this. When I draw the line, it looks up like this orientation line here. Then when I get from this position here all the way to this red line right here, and it looks like I've drawn a little too far. Yeah, there we can get rid of that. Not too bad. Here we go. From here to here, that is your 24 hours or 1 day. So that will be in there again because you see the sun again, noon to noon. So that's what we mean by these timing cycles here. We're about to wrap up here. This is our t is equal to 0. This is after 23 hours and 56 minutes. And this is after 24 hours. So see, the familiarity is still there. We still get our 24-hour timing from sun to sun, but there's an intermediate in there that happens first, 23 hours and 56 minutes when we see that star appear. And you can tell then that when I go back to this geometry here, remember the original little green person here that looks up and sees the star, and this gray person has to wait a tad bit more to look up and see the sun. The wait in here that we're talking about is about 4 minutes. So in this time right here, you have to wait 4 more minutes to see the sun. That's just the way it is. Okay? So we will leave it at that. And in conclusion then, we can get back to Mercury now. Too thin. We'll get back to Mercury now. 24 hours is your sun to sun view. Always, even taking the Earth's orbit into account. 23 hours, 56 seconds, 56 minutes. Is star to star. And this, of course, the sun to sun for obvious reasons. It's called solar time. Star to star is not called star time. It's called sidereal time. Okay? And there you go.